So find a comfortable place, and you can be sitting, you can be lying down, you can put your legs up. We're going to just do a little bit of a check-in before we get started. I had just mentioned for this practice, have a comfy place to move. I would love for you to have a piece of paper and writing utensils, and then either like a seasonal flower, fruit item, or a feather. So if you need to take a moment to gather that. And then take a moment to start to come into your breath. We have entered the Gemini solar cycle from the 20th of May, 2022 until June 21st, which is also the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. So we have officially entered the dissolving cycle of the current season. The air element dissolving, the earth element moving us into breath, into the hands, into the nervous system, into the winged ones and the pollinators. And so as you gather yourself, as always, there's a lot of information, and Gemini is the most mental of the signs. Gemini is the communicator, is the student, is the curious trickster muse. And so while I do want to tap into that part of the brain, it is also very creative. And because Mercury is retrograde right now, I want to start with sharing a little bit of poetry that really resonates with the highest vibration of Gemini. All of the signs have their variances. They have their spectrum, they have their shadow, and then they have their high vibration. And this to me just speaks of the high vibration of Gemini, and it is Rumi. So go ahead and take a deep breath in through the nose, fill your heart up, sip in a little more, and then sigh it out. Let your palms face up and just open to receive. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. Take another big breath in. Hold it, and then sigh it out. Do that again. Big breath. Fill your belly, fill your heart, fill your lungs. Hold that sweet breath at the top of the lungs. And then open mouth with a sigh. And one more time. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the heart, fill the lungs. Imagine your lungs filling with that oxygen. Hold it. And this time as you exhale, can you hum? And so Gemini, the twins, the mutable air, the Mercury guided and ruled third sign of the zodiac. We have entered the third house of our celestial wheel of the year. This is the realm of communication. This is the realm of the mind. This is the free electron. This is the crazy wisdom. This is the questioning of how many varieties of freedom. This is where we seek our versatility, our flexibility, and the nature of the analytical mind and all forms of communication, all forms, the entire spectrum of how we can communicate, the logical and the mental. And ultimately, even though Gemini is seen as the twins, as duality, and its glyph is the connected pillars, it's really about going beyond the binary, going beyond. It is the rainbow, shape-shifting, pollinating trickster. And right now, we're really feeling the potency in the trickster side because Mercury is most connected to Gemini, and Mercury is halfway through its retrograde cycle, and it began in Gemini. And today, actually, it's moved back into Taurus and will complete its retrograde there. So kind of bringing up where we were a couple months ago. And then it will go back into Gemini. So it'll go direct on the 3rd of June, and then it'll move back into Gemini on June 13th. So really, we're going to kind of be in this chaotic mercurial place until June 13th. And as I mentioned, the sun just entered Gemini on the 20th until the solstice on the 21st of June. Today, Mercury moved into Taurus. In a couple of days, Mars shifts into Aries, which will be joining Venus, Jupiter, and Chiron. So even though this is Gemini season, it's a pretty light Gemini season. Last year, we still had the North Node in Gemini and the eclipses in Gemini, and all of that has moved into Taurus. So right now, actually, the only thing in Gemini is the sun. The sun is in Gemini until the new moon on the 30th of May. And then when Mercury comes back into Gemini on the 13th. And so there are continuing to be these currents. There's a lot of Aries. We're entering an Aries stellium for a little bit. So Aries is still about the impulse, the fire, the energy, the action. And then the full moon of Gemini is always in Sagittarius, which will be June 14th. So there is this sort of fire and air pulsation right now with almost a little more emphasis in the fire energy. And we are helping to clarify the eclipses. So last month we were in the first eclipse cycle of this new 1.5 year nodal energy. So a lot of what Gemini and Sag and even Aries are doing right now is we really are trying to process what has been happening from deep within, because Taurus, the cycle we were just in and what Mercury just moved back in today, is fixed earth. It's the deep body, the deep roots, the deep physical value, worth. And then Scorpio, which we're still coming off that Scorpio total lunar eclipse that was last Sunday, which is the deep water, that's the unconscious, that's the shadow, that's the secrets, power, death, sexuality. So that's a lot to unpack. And so to me, when Mercury went retrograde in Gemini in the middle of this eclipse, Mercury as the messenger, as the trickster, was giving us this opportunity to kind of go down into the underworld, which is where Scorpio lives, and start to work through it, start to clear out what we need to clear out to move forward in our transformation personally and collectively. And this is a 1.5 year journey, but Mercury being retrograde during this, even though it added more chaos and more confusion, it really is a gift. Mercury is the gift. Mercury is the only energy that can go in and out of the underworld. It moves really fast. It connects to the mind, our communication. And so that's the feeling with Gemini right now, even though we're seeing a lot of the trickster, the crazy wisdom, chaos energy, it really is helping to stir things up so that we can move forward in transformation. We can move forward in healing, in individual and collective healing. Gemini, again, is the hands, the lungs, the nervous system, the voice box. And today we really are going to sort of tap into that, because even though the sky is relatively Gemini light, we do get this opportunity to gather the gifts of the third house. So figuring it out, how to get quiet and curious and listen, as well as using our voice. So that's always a task in the Mercury retrograde, is that we sort of have to pull back. We're so used to our words and our technology and our messages going at light speed. But when we're in Mercury retrograde, we look to the trickster as the truth, knowing that those little tricks and little pauses and little technology thing are actually an opportunity to quit quiet, to listen, to get curious. And that's really what I'm feeling with this cycle. And I'm a Gemini sun. I also have a Gemini Mars and North Node in the Gemini in the 9th house, in the Sag house. So this is my place of always learning. When I'm in this cycle, I'm very much about learning, and also, again, coming back to curiosity and creativity and humor, because ultimately, and this is the archetype of Gemini that's really strong right now, is the trickster. And every culture has their mythos of the trickster. And the trickster is amoral. The trickster is not good or bad. The trickster just stirs us up to get us going. And that's what this cycle is. It's the dissolving of the current season. So in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving out of the mid-spring. So everything is blossoming and blooming and starting to move towards that fruition. And this is where we start to see the pollinators come in. We see the dragonfly, we see the butterfly, we see the bee, we see the hummingbird, these winged energies, messengers that they come in, they communicate with the flowers, they communicate with each other. They start to move the pollen and the energy around. The bees make honey, right? So we need the flowers to bloom before the pollinators can come out and stir things up. And that is sort of the energetic blueprint of Gemini is that it comes out, it gets curious, it explores, it listens, it tastes, it tries, and then it moves things around. And so where you're feeling really stagnant and really stuck and possibly being very protective of a wound is where Gemini might be checking it out right now. Gemini might be sticking its little feelers into those spaces that are super raw from this eclipse. It's like, hey, how can we move this? How can we get out beyond this binary, this right and wrong and good and bad, and start to move this into what needs to come forward, what needs to move into fruition? Venus is going to be moving into Taurus on the 28th, but on the 26th, she will be conjuncting with the moon. So the Venus is in her morning star phase, the warrioress energy, moving down through the chakras towards the underworld, dissolving and letting go of what no longer serves. And on the 26th, while still in Aries, with Mars, with Jupiter, with Chiron, she will move from the heart into the third chakra. So that also brings in the fact that there's a strong fire element this cycle. So Venus in Aries in the third chakra is the warrior, is the passionate, activist, warrior, feminine element. And so we're moving into that. So the rest of this cycle will sort of be focused in that third chakra. The third chakra is courage, confidence, will, play, pleasure. It's the pancreas, it's sweetness, but it's also our core, our impulse. And so a lot of this Gemini energy will be manifesting through fire, and the fire element this cycle with all of that Aries and moving into the Sagittarius full moon. How can we burn away? How can we process? How can we connect? How can we transform? So I could say obviously a lot more about all of this, Gemini sun, but also again, that trickster energy of we need to be in this, we need to listen to it and observe it. So just know that it's going to take a while for what's been happening last month and this month, really until June 13th, right before that Sagittarius moon. And Sagittarius is the truth seeker, the truth speaker. So as we get closer to that full moon in Sag, and that'll be that full moon free of the lunar eclipse, things will start to come forward. So these next couple of weeks, we're still very much in curiosity, still very much in chaos, and really looking to the Gemini allies, really looking to the rainbow shape-shifting pollinators to guide us and continuing to gather information, process information, so that more of that truth can be revealed with that full moon, with that Venus in Aries. So the fire is going to be revealing our truth and helping to burn up some of the outdated stories. Gemini is moving us towards that as Mercury finishes their retrograde June 3rd, moving us towards that truth. So we will be playing with that in our practice today. And just know, this is a time of not really knowing. This is the time of the trickster. And one of my teachers was actually, Danielle Dulski, was speaking about the trickster, again, about not good or bad, that it's not interested in, fame or fortune. It really is just about keeping us flexible, keeping us open to the unexpected. The trickster is the spirit of the doorway leading out, right? And that's what we're looking for culturally. We're trying to find a way out of what no longer serves us. We're trying to find a way out of so much of these deeply rooted structures and secrets. And the trickster, the Gemini, is very much about service to spirit through going beyond duality, going beyond the mind. And so know that Gemini is an ally, that all of these signs are allies. They are here to support us. But it is a little bit of a chaotic time, and we are in a deeper cycle that's unfolding right now. So looking for those allies, looking for that curiosity, playing with the fairy and the magician and the shapeshifter and the Loki and the rainbow goddess, looking to those tricksters. So go ahead and once again, just let yourself take a big full breath into your lungs, hold it there. And then with a hum, and then from wherever you are, just start to shake out your hands. So hands are the body part probably most closely associated with Gemini. So this is a great month to tend to your hands, to get some hand massage, manicure, any of that. And just give it a nice little shake to start to move the energy through the hands. So the hands, the lungs, the voice box, the nervous system. And again, take a big breath in and a hum. And then just take one hand to the other and just start to rub the hands a little bit. So think about long movements. Use a thumb and index finger and just kind of draw up, sort of pulling the fingers, and not really a comedic way, but just moving the energy. Most of us are familiar with some points between the thumb and the index finger, the hand, the wrists. You can kind of simultaneously use both hands. So because Gemini can be so focused in duality and what's happening around, so again, Gemini has this sort of reputation as the gossip, right? The trickster, the duality, the two-faced, but Gemini is the student. Gemini is just really curious, and they really do want to hear both sides. But most of the time, Gemini doesn't agree with one side. It's interested in both, and that's where it's really beyond that binary. Part of our culture absolutely is looking at both, and there's a lot happening right now where it actually is very clear to step up and speak up and take action on behalf of what is your truth. And at the same time, for a lot of folks, they don't really know what that is. They don't take the time to really drop into themselves and look around and learn about what's going on before they think they know a truth. So Gemini is both. It's the student, it's learning, it's listening, it's hearing, it is insatiable. Think about, again, the butterflies, the bees, the hummingbirds. They're insatiable in exploring the flowers. We all need to be insatiable in looking at, what is present, what is real. Take a couple more breaths. And so anytime we do self-massage, and we hear about this a lot in Ayurveda, it brings us into the body. The hands are connected to the organs. This is also traditional Chinese medicine. So whenever you massage the hands or the feet, we actually help the organ body, the meridians in the body. And if you've ever done some palm reading, this can always be a fun cycle to learn a little palmistry, or again, the points, the acupuncture points in the hands. And then again, shake your hands out. And then if you are comfortable, bring yourself up to stand. And then again, just bring a little shaking, a little moving. Otherwise, you can stay on your back and just stay focused with the hands. Just shake it out, side out. So the mutable air, and it's just about moving. So with Gemini, if we get in the head, so some of the shadows of Gemini are that gossipy duality, but also anxiety. Anxiety is a very Gemini thing because we're stuck in the head. So there's been a lot of Geminis and strong Gemini placements who end up being movement teachers, yoga teachers, things like that, because that's just really the best way to get us out of our head is in the body. So for the next minute or two, don't think about, doing yoga or dance or anything, but just move your body with your breath. Again, that curiosity. So as we move through this practice, like if you were like a bee or a hummingbird or a dragonfly, right, or a fairy, like how would you move if you had those wings, if you had that perspective? And we will play with that in the meditation, but just bringing that curiosity for the body movement. And again, take some big breaths. Feel free to hum, sigh, shake it out. Notice where you're tight, where you're tense. So Scorpio and Taurus, very deep, very intense. Taurus is the senses, the neck. Scorpio is the genitals, the reproductive organs. And so again, Gemini moves us into the lungs, into the hands, into the voice. And let yourself come towards some stillness. So one of my favorite things to happen, I love watching like the hummingbirds and the butterflies and the bees, but I love when you catch them being still, right? Like that's so less common. So coming to standing, touch your index finger and thumb together, keeping the other fingers loose. This is the seal of knowing, of knowledge. Just pause and feel into your breath. So after a little bit of movement, can you feel your heart beating? Can you feel your lungs? Can you conceptualize the lungs, front, back, and sides? Being curious about your own breath. And then again, just maybe let your eyes soften and notice colors, shapes. Again, if you brought in a flower or a feather. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, big stretch, take a side bend, left arm down, right arm overhead, and then bring it up. And then other side. So really feel yourself stretching through your fingers. Lift it up, reach the fingers forward, fold all the way down. Can you let your fingertips dangle on the mat or on your legs or on the couch? Lengthen up halfway, lift up, fill the lungs, and then fold. Shake out your head. And then sweep the arms up like big wings, reach up, gather back to the heart. Just a couple more like that. Inhale, sweep, big stretch through your fingers, side bend right. Bring it up. And to the left, bring it up. Big stretch through center, dangle, wiggle your fingers. Lift up halfway, fill the lungs, exhale, fold, shake it out. And then again, sweep it up, big wings, reach, hands to heart. One more time, inhale. This time, right hand to left wrist, pull up and over through the side bend. So again, wiggle through your fingers, feel the hands, and then bring it up. Switch left hand to right wrist, pull up and over, stretch through the fingers. Lift it up, dive down, wiggle the fingers, lengthen up halfway, fill the lungs, bow. Inhale, gather it up, big stretch. Clasp your hands at the top, push the palms up to the sky, and then draw the palms forward, facing out, round your spine. So breathe into the back of the lungs, press through your palms, press through the wrists. Inhale, lift up, soften your elbows, open your chest. Exhale, round again, push back, stretch out through the lungs. Inhale, reach up, lift. Exhale, come forward again, really push through your hands, draw the belly in. Good. Inhale, lift up, soften the elbows at the top, open your chest, and then swan dive forward, big fold. Now you can just dangle here, or if you're able to bend your knees and put your hands all the way under your feet, we call this gorilla. Feel free to do that because that's a great stretch for the wrists and the hands. But if that's not comfortable for you, just continue to dangle or shake the arms, or you can even come up and shake the hands out. Otherwise, you want to imagine at least that you've got your toes to your wrists. So trying to get your hands under the feet and then massage the hands with the feet. So creating that circuit between sky and earth. And again, if this is too much, just dangle the arms or shake your hands out again, or you can massage them. Very grounding. So if Gemini gets overstimulated by the outer world, they have to get very still and turn in. So forward folds, always a good way to get back to our breath, back to our body. Take another inhale. Exhale, release the hands. If they were under the feet, shake them out. This time, roll it up, one vertebra at a time. And again, sweep the arms up. This time, bend the elbows, open the chest. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale. And exhale. Good, open your chest, give yourself a hug. Hold onto your shoulders with opposite arms. You can tuck the chin, stay just like this, or bring the back of the hands or the palms together. And just take a breath. So think about lengthening through the fingers wherever you are. Don't clench the fists. Inhale, exhale with a sigh. Notice which arm's on top. Sweep the arms out, big wings, and then wrap around. Give yourself a hug. You can hold the shoulders, or again, bring the back of the hands or the palms. Give your head a little shake. Feel into that hum. Deep breath. Release, stretch it up. Again, pull the hands down. Again, touch your index finger and thumb, hands in seal of knowledge. Soften, close your eyes, notice. Notice what sounds or sights jump out at you, again, as though you were that hummingbird or butterfly or bee. For the moment, pause, gazing around at the vast landscape of what will you find next? What will you discover next? And then inhale, reach it up, forward fold, shake it out. And then bend your knees, roll yourself down to your bottom. Knees are bent, squeeze the legs together, sit up nice and tall. So keep your heart lifted, take a deep breath, and then lean back, feel the core. So we got to do a little bit of fire energy because we've got so much fire energy to cycle, and fire and air are our yang partnered elements. So just start to feel that fire. The hands can stay on the legs. You can reach up, but remember, stretch through the fingers, lift your heart. Don't lose that Gemini, even as we start to feel that fire of Aries and Sag. Good, bring it up, let it go. And we're gonna do a little flow there. So inhale, lift up, exhale, roll back. But I want you to think about reaching through your fingers. So again, that pollinator is still stretching towards the flower. And if you want, you can even start to create a little shimmy action. So anytime we alternate right and left, if that's too much, just stay with holding a gentle boat. There is such a thing. Breathing here. If you want to add a little more, opposite leg comes up. So as you pull back to one side, so arms, legs, kind of creating this little twist. So one leg comes up, draw that arm back. So core, shoulders, or just stay with a simple boat. Continue to breathe, lift your heart, a few more. Sense of humor, smile. One more to each side, and then pause. Let the feet drop open. I'm sorry, feet together, knees open, and just flutter, little butterflies. When I would sit in the kids' yoga class and we do this pose, we kind of bring the hands up, make the little feelers there. Flutter, little Gemini butterfly. Shake out the head, soften the jaw, maybe hum. And then pause, draw the legs back in. So again, coming back into boat, you can just hold your boat. Otherwise, come back into that little flow. So just start by arms, maybe alternating, drawing an arm back at a time, or once more adding the legs. One more round here. So as much as you're feeling the core, can you keep the connection to the hands, to the arms? And then if you want a little more, you can add a full twist. So whatever leg comes up or whatever side you go to, twisting. That's that fire element, breath, keep the heart open. One more to each side, inhale, side out, and bring it up, butterfly. Flutter it out. Big inhale, and then this time let yourself fold down. Soften the jaw and the face. And that forward fold, bringing us inward. You can stay in the forward fold or lift up and either just start to circle here, some spinal movement, or you can take a cat-cow. Tons of Gemini, we like that front and back movement. But as I said, the secret of Gemini is actually that it's beyond the binary. It is all of the spectrum in the same way the rainbow encompasses, right, all the colors. That's Gemini. The rainbow is very much connected to the Gemini energy. June is also Pride Month, so I definitely think that makes sense that would be in that Gemini energy of going beyond the binary, celebrating the spectrum of human experience and relationship. Those are all the high qualities of Gemini. The student, the pollinator, the shapeshifter, the trickster. And as I said, the trickster comes into a lot of stories. If you've studied mythology in multiple traditions, every culture, those tricksters are part of what makes the world. And they keep the world flexible. They keep the world changing. And Gemini dissolves Taurus season. Gemini dissolves the spring in the Northern Hemisphere and the fall in the Southern Hemisphere. And we need that. We need that energy to move us out from the roots back up into the breath, into the lungs, into the sky. Right? So all these archetypes are necessary. And that's part of why I like to offer this for all the signs. And I encourage folks to check out all the signs, not just the ones you feel like you resonate with, because there's so much to learn from each one. And we're consciously passing through them every year. They are coloring our lives and our stories. And the more we recognize them as allies and build relationships and see how they're actually trying to support our journey, even though in our mind, it feels like, oh no, Mercury retrograde is ruining my life. The eclipses are ruining my life. They're not. Things are unfolding. And it's just kind of like always with going with the current, right? When you swim against the current, if you're doing a circle, make sure you go both ways, speaking of currents. Otherwise, you can be in that forward fold or just in some steady spinal movement. But Gemini does like to look at both, and that's where that Rumi poem, which I will read again later, out beyond the fields of wrongdoing and right doing, or out beyond those places, there is a field. And it's too much. There's too much to talk about. So there's really nothing to say. It's getting back to the heart, what it is you really want. And I think the trickster sometimes will trick us into actually revealing our truth. And sometimes that truth is not comfortable. Sometimes that truth is not what we want. We talk about Freudian slips and things like that, but the trickster is revealing something that's ready to come to light. And that's what eclipses are about, is bringing to light what is ready to be released or brought into being. And this is a first round in a year and a half of eclipses. So it's really, to me, just starting to bring up what needs to be cleared. And there's all that fire right now to burn away what we don't want to continue to support. Okay, bring yourself back up, shake out your legs, shake out your arms. And now I'm going to ask you to get your paper. So ideally a blank paper and pen or marker or colored. So this is always something you can come back to, and I encourage you to work with this potentially up through the new moon or the full moon, and I'm going to give you some options for that. But basically, so Gemini rules the hands, and some of the best practices for Gemini is writing, journaling, drawing, just any kind of getting that expression out. The voice is important too, so talk therapy, connecting with like-minded folks, that's really important. But essentially, I want you to trace this shape on your paper. So the hands together, and when they come together, right, when the index finger and thumb touch, here it kind of creates a gem, right? There's a diamond there. So when you place your hand down, you'll just set it down on your paper so that you can fit both hands. And then just like we used to do as kids, or maybe you've done as an adult, you're going to trace one hand and then you'll trace the other. And so it says, again, this, you don't have to show this to anyone. This is just yours. And you might, trace it with pen and then you can color it back over, but just take a moment and trace your hands. So it'll look something like that. And just breathe, notice anything that comes up around, arts and crafts. And like I said, I'm not someone who identifies as an artist. I definitely like to write and speak, but as a Gemini sun, I know it's really good to get into the hands and get into some of this different way. So you can take some time, trace out your hands, but try to have that gem in the middle. So we're looking for that gem in the middle. And then again, because I know some of us are faster tracers than the other, we're going to move into sort of a little bit of a stream of consciousness meditation. So obviously one hand is left, one hand is right. And you'll start out by labeling left and right. And then you're going to go back and forth. So you might use two different colors or pens or not, and you're going to write out opposites. So left and right, good and bad, black and white, high and low. And you're going to start to just do that. And you have to go back and forth. So one hand will have one side of opposites, one hand will have the other. And because Gemini is the voice, they may, so if it's enough to just try to focus on writing opposites in the hands and remembering which one you're doing, that's fine. But Gemini is the voice. And because we are identifying with the trickster right now, I want to actually encourage you as you write out those opposites to say an I am. So I am left, I am right, I am fear, I am faith, I am good, I am bad. And let there sort of start to be a little meditation going. I'm going to do a little drum here for this part, because we're going to stay with this for a couple of minutes. So it doesn't have to be anything too exciting. You're just going back and forth in the hands, writing out opposites. Again, not getting caught up. And maybe there's some that are really bothering you right now. Maybe you're really struggling with some opposites, with some binaries, with some polarities. I mean, you can write Republican, Democrat, you know, any of those things. Like, this is just for you. No one else is going to see this. So if there are things you're really struggling with culturally, personally, and then just play with that trickster. So I am light, I am dark, I am good, I am bad, I am low, I am high, I am day, I am night, I am ugly, I am beauty, I am them, I am us, I am wrong, I am right. Just letting yourself either write it out or say it out, and just stay with the breath. If you catch yourself getting distracted, confused, or if some uncomfortable feelings, some triggering feelings come up, just come back to the breath and come back to simplifying it. Go to high, low, dark, light. So if it's easier to stay with a general binary rather than specific, like, take care of yourself. This is yours, your practice. So we're just writing out the binary, we're writing out the polarity. And it's not about which hand goes where. It doesn't actually matter. It's the practice of separation, conscious separation right now. I am shallow, I am deep, I am sky, I am earth, I am fire, I am water, I am play, I am work, I am still, I am movement, I am day, I am night, I am you, I am me. Just letting yourself write, speak. And again, are there any other polarities that you've been struggling with? Any cultural concepts or ideals? And just notice how that feels to write them out and maybe speak them in that trickster way. I am you, I am me, I am us, I am them, I am young, I am old. Just let that move through for a little bit longer, and you can always come back to this, because we know there are so many paradox and polarity and conflict, war, peace, surrender, victory. Let that move through. Just a few more breaths. Keep breathing, keep breathing. I am left, I am right, I am life, I am death, I am play, I am boredom, I am bad, I am good, I am faith, I am fear, I am low, I am high, I am us, I am them. Take another big, big breath. Sigh it out. Finish out whatever pair of opposite you are on. And then put down the pen and just for a moment, let yourself sit back. And just maybe look at what has appeared without judgment, without criticism. And then rub your palms, bring that heat into your hands. And then place your hands over your heart, over your lungs, stack them. And just feel the heat, feel your hands, that contact. And then slide the left hand down to the thigh, touch the index finger and thumb again. take your right hand, and you can fold the middle 3 fingers. We're going to move through some alternate nostril breath. So if you have a seal you like, otherwise you can keep it pretty simple. The thumb will go on the right nostril, the pinky will go on the left. You'll exhale out the left nostril, close off both nostrils. Or I'm sorry, you'll exhale out the left nostril and then inhale the left, close off both, exhale right. Inhale right, close off both, exhale left. So you exhale and inhale the same nostril and then switch. If the sinuses or allergies are sort of acting up, you can just imagine doing it. So really just imagine inhaling up the left, down the right, inhaling right. And whether you're actually closing off with the hands, so using the hands to alternate, again, there's a certain brain exercise there too, but again, not required. You can imagine you're breathing up into the third eye. So as you inhale up either side, you hold at the third eye and then exhale and switch. And just stay with this. So whether alternating valving the fingers at the nostrils or just imagining the breath. Exhale and inhale up one side, pause at the top, and then switch. See if you can slow down the breath. And again, you can always do this on your back and just do the visualization. If the seat isn't comfortable, we're going to come to lying in a moment. Just staying with this breath, very common breath for the air element, but especially for Gemini, because it helps to balance the hemispheres of the brain, the nostrils, the dominant nostril, it calms the nerves. And the next time you exhale out the left nostril, release. Let yourself once more glance at the hands, your left and right. And then you'll lie back for meditation. You can also remain seated for meditation. If you happen to have bolsters, pillows, this is sometimes a nice place for like a reclining bound angle where you could lay back on a bolster, pillows, and bring the soles of the feet together with support under the thighs. So this just opens the lungs, the belly, the heart. You can also lay back and just keep the knees bent, or traditional reclining pose where you lay back on the earth, support the head, the knees, and just really letting yourself get comfortable. I recommend covering the eyes, covering the body, and then just start to make your way into that space. Just noticing as you start to lie back, if you can tend to the back of the body and the front, the right and the left. I am you, I am me, I am high, I am low, I am fear, I am fate, I am shadow, I am light, I am us, I am them, I am sad, I am happy, I am pain, I am pleasure, I am you, I am me. Letting yourself lie back into the earth, into the support, whatever is holding you. Feel the land that you rest upon. Feeling the loving stewarding of the land. I'm on Shumash land, noticing the season, the smells, the sensations. If you stepped outside today, what was the sky like? What were the birds like? Let yourself ground in this moment. Gemini season, dissolving the season, the last few weeks between the equinox and the solstice. Northern hemisphere, we are moving towards the summer solstice, southern towards the winter. We are all under the waning moon, the last quarter moon between the Scorpio full moon eclipse and the Gemini new moon. Feel yourself resting, grounding on the earth, between earth and sky, elements, directions, the earth, the air, the water, the fire, the ether. We welcome, we say thank you. The elements that oppose and support each other, yin and yang, so many polarities, so many opposites, and yet we work require them all to be here now. Feel the body on the earth, the front of the body open to the allies, the sun in Gemini. Let yourself scan your body from your head to your toes, arriving fully. Gratitude for your body, for your home, for your space, for the privilege to practice. May our practice support all beings of the earth at this time. All those who need this Gemini magic, muse, crazy wisdom, chaos, trickster, that will shake us up out of the binary that we've been restricted to and show us the potential, show us the shape-shifting that is available, the full spectrum that is available to us at this time. The butterfly, the fairy, the hummingbird, and the bee. Feel yourself surrounded, the winged ones, the allies, the trickster that is not good or bad, right or wrong. The trickster is not binary. The trickster stirs us. Do not go back to sleep. Do not go back to sleep. Gather your attention in your lungs. Feel your right lung and your left lung. Offer love and gratitude to your lungs, pumping, breathing, pulsing, nestling your heart. Feel your right hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky, the back and the front. Feel your whole right hand. Feel your left hand, the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring, pinky, front, back, the whole left hand. Feel both hands together, left and right. Feel the right hemisphere of your brain. Sense the right hemisphere of your brain. Ask it to show itself, right hemisphere. And feel the left hemisphere of the brain. Ask it to show itself, left hemisphere. Feeling both hemispheres of the brain. And then dropping into the midbrain, right at the height of the ears, the center of the brain, the master glands, activating the master glands. And we set our intention. We set our intention for this cycle, beginning with I am. And maybe there's something that has been stirring for you already, or in this practice for Gemini, it can be I am curious. I am awake. I am open. I am creative. I am learning. I am magic. Anything like this, allow it to emerge. Repeat it quietly to yourself 3 times with gratitude and curiosity. And then imagine there the third eye, a blue star in the space between the eyebrows. And this blue star moves into the hollow of your throat, into the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist. Blue star at the tip of the right thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky. Feel the right arm and hand filled with stars, tips of the finger, wrists, elbow, shoulder, hollow of the throat. A blue star at the left shoulder, elbow, wrist, reaching to the tips of the fingers, the left tip of the thumb, blue star, to the index, middle, ring, and pinky. Blue stars, feel the blue stars at the tips of the fingers, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, hollow of the throat. Feel the blue stars on both hands, arms, throat, third eye. Feel this constellation lit up from the midbrain to the voice box down both arms, blue stars, alive, warm, and connected. And then see a blue star in the middle of the heart, a blue star in the solar plexus, blue star at the low belly, star at the base of the spine. And you feel these blue stars lining the central channel, blue star base of the spine, sacrum, mid-back, upper back, back of the neck, back of the head, crown of the head. Blue stars up the central channel and then out through your hands. Just feel like a butterfly, like a bird. These stars activating the central channel and then reaching out to the tips of the fingers. And the rest of the body begins to dissolve and soften, and you feel yourself dissolving and merging with these blue stars, awakening this inner shape-shifting ally. Are you a bird? Are you a fairy? Are you a dragonfly? Are you a bumblebee? Allow yourself to feel yourself as a Gemini ally. This energy pulsing along the central channel and out through your arms, body dissolving, whole body dissolving into this shape-shifting winged ally from within. Body dissolving, releasing any tension, any stress, as you merge with this Gemini ally central channel to the tips of the fingers. And as you breathe, you feel your wings expand and stretch. And as you exhale, you gather yourself into that central channel. Again, the whole body dissolving into this form, this shape shifting. Inhale, you expand out into your wings. Exhale, you hug back into yourself. And just allow the breath to pulse through the body as you feel this new form. The breath continues to pulse through the body, through this new form. And you imagine yourself beginning to float or fly up above. Again, thinking about the day that you're in, the day, the night, what the sky is like. And imagine yourself going high, high, high up into the sky. You're buzzing, floating, flying self, this shape-shifting being going higher, higher, higher. And then suddenly going down, down, as though you were diving into a flower, into a root, down, down, closer to the earth. And then again, you feel yourself going high, getting that bird's eye view. You can see the whole house, the whole neighborhood, the whole city, the whole planet. And then again, you move down, 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 as if you're moving deep into the nectar, into the center of the tiniest flower. And allow yourself to pulse this way, yourself flying up high, 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 maybe even outside the planet. And then gathering back into the tiniest, tiniest center of the tiniest flower. Feeling the power and pulsation of these two opposites, high, up, and then down and deep. Letting yourself expand and contract with curiosity, your shape-shifting, flying Gemini ally. And then you allow yourself to come somewhere in the middle between that highest expanse and the tiniest flower. And you feel the freedom that is flying, floating, dancing on the currents. You can go anywhere. You are free to go anywhere. If you could go anywhere, where would you go? Where would you go? Go there now. This is a safe place to travel. Go there now. Anywhere. If you could fly anywhere, anywhere, where would it be? Go there now. Fly there now. Allow yourself to arrive. You can travel anywhere at the speed of thought. And what is it that you are visiting? What is it you are seeing? Where is it? Where is it that you are drawn to with curiosity? Where was it that your heart's desire pulled you to in this Gemini sky? Let yourself see that heart's desire, that's heart's longing. What did you really want when I said you could go anywhere? What was it? Let yourself view it with that full capacity that this was where your heart wanted to go, with the freedom and flexibility to be anywhere, to do anything, to fly. This is what you chose. And there is no good or bad or right or wrong when you see yourself in this space. And as you see it, as you take it in, as you drink it in, you notice in this space there is a little bit of smoke coming from somewhere. And as you are a pollinator, flying eyes, you realize there is a fire. Maybe it's a little fire, maybe it's a big fire, but wherever your heart drew you to, there is a fire in this place. And you let yourself move to the closest distance of this fire that feels safe for your wings. And as you see yourself in this space, in this place, your heart's longing, your shape-shifting, you see what matters most. As you look into this fire, you come back to this idea of dissolution, this idea of transformation. All the binaries, all those polarities that restrict us, can we start to let them go? Can you imagine your little winged self singing into the fire, those binaries, those polarities, maybe many of which you wrote down on your hands? But when given full freedom from the trickster deities to go where we want, to be where we want, you realize how unnecessary these restrictions, and allow yourself to sing, to flutter your feathers into this fire and offer these outdated binaries, these outdated restrictions, these outdated thoughts. Feed this fire, this Aries, Sagittarius fire, with what no longer serves, with what you will no longer allow to limit you and restrict you in your own mind. The potential of your mind to go beyond, to learn, to open, to be curious is limitless. Pour out those restrictions and boundaries into the fire. Feed the fire. Fan the fire with your song, with the flutter of your wings. And allow yourself to be even more present with the longing of your heart, what you want most. And while the trickster is an illusion, it teaches us what's important. It teaches us who we are and our truth. Offer gratitude to the fire for its purification. Offer gratitude to this longing that has brought you into this space that means the most. Feeling into your winged self. We allow these images to begin to swirl and release. You feel your winged self flying back, back, back. And settling into the physical body, becoming the central channel, becoming the arms, the hands, the whole body, reforming, remembering, renewing. A little lighter, a little freer, a little more open. Feel your feet, your legs, your thighs. Pour yourself back into your legs. Again, the blue star at the base of the spine, the sacrum, the mid-back, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. Blue stars at your hands and arms, arriving in your legs and your spine. Feel your right hand and your left hand. Right lung and left lung. Right hemisphere of the brain and left hemisphere of the brain. Feel the left hemisphere of the brain, the right lung and hand. Right hemisphere of the brain, left lung and hand. body arrives fully present, integrated, awake. Hear the sound of your intention, your Gemini intention. I am. As you arrive fully back from this Gemini journey that is now complete. Arrive back into your body, into your breath. Start to take some deep breaths. Wiggle your fingers, roll your wrists, shake your head, start to stretch and sigh. You can roll to one side or use your core to rock yourself up. Find your hands drawing. And then if you were able to bring a seasonal item or a feather, place that right in the middle. So in that gem, that diamond between the hands, place it right there in the middle. And let yourself find a comfortable seat. Let your gaze remain soft. Let your eyes be soft. They maybe just start to feel the change in the picture. One hand and the other with that feather or flower in the middle. And allow your eyes to stay softly focused at that flower feather in the middle. And we're going to move through a little more breath. So we're going to move through breath of fire. If breath of fire is too aggressive for you, just stay with a deep belly breath. Otherwise, breath of fire focuses in that solar plexus, that third chakra, and we really have a forceful exhale, and the inhale happens naturally. So it looks like this. So I'm really forcefully exhaling out my nostrils, like I'm trying to blow out a candle. And if that's a lot, though, you can always open the mouth, and it looks like this. So we're not hyperventilating up in the chest and lungs, right? That's going to create that anxiety we don't want. We're trying to get that third chakra going. So doing that breath while focusing on that item in the center of your hands. And as you do the breath, it's okay if your eyes shift around from left to right. Keep bringing it back to the feather or the flower. Left, right, back to the feather, breath of fire. So you can stay with the breath a little longer, letting the eyes just focus as they need to on the image, on the hands, on the item. And then exhale everything out. Hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. And then as you inhale, bring your hands, rub your palms, place the hands over your eyes. Inhale, inhale, hold the breath. Hum it out. Slide the hands down, right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right. And then just create a little tap side to side. And again, just gaze. Gaze at the picture, gaze at the item. And as you gaze here, bringing your breath and your attention beyond the binary, back to the intent of the season, the feather, the flower. What do you want? What is most important to you? What is beyond the binary? What is shape-shifting? What is transforming? And maybe allow yourself to speak that out loud. Maybe it's a word or two from the meditation, or even just right now as you come back to focusing at that feather or flower. Let yourself speak your truth. And then you can release the hands and take that item in the middle and hold it in the hands, feel it in the hands, and just gaze at that gem in the center, that blank space. Let yourself come back into the hands through the feather, the item, focusing on that blank space, that gem between the left and the right, the high and the low, the light and the dark. And then if it feels right, if you feel called to write or draw anything in that space, let that be your drishti that you meditate on. Come back to this on the new moon, feeling into the binary, adding to the polarity, but then come back to that middle. Remember what it is you want. Let yourself ground through the season, through the allies. Look to the hummingbirds, the butterflies. And then on the full moon, you can burn this as that offering to the Aries, Venus, Sagittarius, the third chakra, releasing it out, burning off the polarity and the limitations, but also activating what it is you really want. Sit with this and breathe for another moment. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. Another big, big breath in and hold it, hold it, hold it in your heart, hold it in your lungs. So much gratitude for the gifts of this time. All of that, hold it. Sigh it out. Place your hands on the earth, releasing back into the earth, giving back into the earth. Gratitude, curiosity, learning, connecting, communicating. Let yourself move beyond this cycle. Let yourself move beyond and be open to what is shape-shifting, what is whispering, what is stirring. The trickster is not good or bad, but the trickster is very much alive right now, revealing to us what it is we really want, revealing our truth. Sending so much love to you, to your loved ones, to all beings in the earth, all those struggling and suffering right now. Many, many blessings for a potent and magical Gemini cycle and a completion of this retrograde. Be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others. Know that more will be revealed as the moon begins to wax. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you're on the replay, always feel free to reach out with questions or comments, and I hope to see you soon. Many blessings.